Every summer, it's the same sting. My phone buzzes with a text from Mom, Evelyn, beach house is booked, Maya. No room this year. Have a great summer. I stare at the words, my heart sinking. My kids, Lily and Noah, deserve those sandy toes and ocean waves, but we're always the ones left out. Across town, my sister Olivia is packing her 3 kids, her husband, even their nanny for the Crystal Cove beach house. There's space for them, always. But us? Never. I force a smile as Lily, my 10-year-old, looks up, her eyes big with hope. Mom, why don't we ever go to the beach with Grandma? Her question cuts deeper than the text. I've heard no room for a decade, but this time, something shifts. No more waiting for an invitation that'll never come. I'm done begging for a seat at their table. This summer, I'm building our own place, our own memories. Lily and Noah deserve that. We all do. And I'm starting right now. Every summer, the same ritual unfolds. My mom, Evelyn, sends a group text with a photo of the Crystal Cove beach house, white shutters, sprawling porch, the ocean sparkling just beyond. Counting down to our family getaway. She writes, heart emojis trailing like confetti. My sister Olivia chimes in, just got new floaties for the kids. They can't wait. I stare at the screen, my thumb hovering, knowing what's coming. That house has 6 bedrooms, 4 baths, a loft, and a guest suite. It could host a small wedding. But for me, Lily, and Noah? There's never room. I wasn't surprised when Evelyn called a week later, her voice syrupy sweet. Maya, darling, I didn't want you to feel left out when the photos hit the group chat. The house is full this year. Olivia's bringing her 3 kids, her husband, their nanny, and even her in-laws. I clenched the phone, biting back the same argument I've made for years. Why is there always space for Olivia's crew but not for my kids? I've offered to sleep on the couch, bring sleeping bags, even pitch a tent in the yard. Too complicated, Evelyn said once, waving me off. So, I stopped asking. Instead, I turned to Lily, brushing her hair before bed. We're planning something special this summer, I lied, forcing a smile. Just for us. Her eyes lit up, trusting me completely. But I knew the truth. When her cousins returned with stories of sandcastles and sunburns, she'd feel it, the ache of being left out. It's been this way for a decade. Every summer, Olivia's family fills that beach house to the brim, their laughter echoing in photos I scroll past. Her kids get the bunk beds, the boogie boards, the crab boils under string lights. My kids get a vague promise of next year. I've seen Lily's face fall when her cousin brags about finding a starfish, and Noah's quiet frown when no one remembers he wasn't there. They're kids, just like Olivia's, but somehow, they don't count. Evelyn always says, Olivia's children need their space, as if Lily and Noah aren't her grandchildren too. As if we're not family. I tried to bridge the gap once. A few years back, I suggested we all meet at a local park instead, neutral ground, no space limits. I spent hours planning games, packing snacks, picturing a day where my kids felt included. Evelyn declined. It's not the same as the beach house, Maya. Maybe next time. Olivia didn't even respond. That rejection stung worse than the group texts. It wasn't just about a vacation. It was about being invisible in my own family. The hardest moment came when Lily was 6. She sat cross-legged on our living room floor, crayons scattered, drawing her dream family beach trip. Her picture showed Olivia's kids splashing in waves, Evelyn smiling under an umbrella. But we weren't in it. Not me, not Noah. I knelt beside her, heartbreaking. Sweetie, why aren't we in the picture? She shrugged, her voice small. I thought we weren't allowed. That night, I held her close, promising we'd find our own waves someday. I took them to a nearby lake the next weekend, letting them splash in the shallows, pretending the water was salty. They laughed, believing it was enough. But I knew I was patching a wound that kept reopening. Now, Lily's 10, and she's starting to notice the pattern. Last week, she caught me staring at Evelyn's text. Her voice was soft but sharp. "Mom, why don't we ever go to the beach with Grandma?" I froze, the question hanging heavy. I could lie again, but she's too smart for that now. She's starting to see what I've felt for years: we're the ones left behind. But this time, I'm not just swallowing the hurt. That question, Lily's question, is where this story turns. It's time to stop waiting for a place at their beach house. It's time to build our own. Lily's question lingered in my mind: why don't we ever go to the beach with Grandma? It wasn't just about a vacation. It was about belonging, about being seen. For years, I'd swallowed the hurt, but that question cracked something open. I wasn't just fighting for a spot at the beach house. I was fighting for my kids to know they matter. 10 years ago, my world unraveled. I left my marriage with 2 suitcases, a stroller, and Lily, barely 3, clinging to my hand. I was 5 months pregnant with Noah. My ex-husband had found someone new, someone more fun, he said. I didn't care who she was. I cared about starting over. I moved us into a cramped apartment, studied real estate courses online between midnight feedings and toddler tantrums, and passed my licensing exam a month after Noah's birth. My first sale barely covered rent, but it was mine. I knocked on doors and borrowed heels, building a life from scratch while Olivia, my sister, hosted brunches in her gated community colonial. Her Christmas cards looked like magazine spreads. Mom called her the glue of our family. Me? I was just Maya, the tired one, showing up to family dinners with spit up on my shirt and my phone buzzing with client texts. I stayed quiet, not because I didn't feel the difference, but because I didn't want Lily and Noah to. But kids notice everything. When Lily was 6, she sat on our kitchen floor, sketching a beach week packing list: swimsuits, goggles, a smiling sand bucket. Then she looked up, her voice small. "Does Grandma like Olivia's kids better?" I froze, my heart splintering. "Grandma's just busy," I said, kneeling beside her. "But we don't take up much space," she replied. I could sleep on the floor. I hugged her tight, promising we'd find our own waves. That weekend, I drove them to a local lake, teaching them to paddle in shallow water, pretending it was the ocean. They giggled, splashing each other, but I knew I was only masking the truth. I tried to build a bridge once. I invited the whole family to a nearby park, games, snacks, a chance for Lily and Noah to feel part of the clan. I pictured them running with their cousins, laughing under the trees. Evelyn shut it down. "A park's not the beach house, Maya. It's not the same." Olivia didn't even bother replying. That rejection burned deeper than any group text. It wasn't just about a day out. It was about my kids being erased from the family story. The breaking point came at one of Evelyn's dinners. Roast chicken, lemon asparagus, and the usual subtle digs. Olivia sat across from me, swirling her wine like she owned the room. "We're thinking of remodeling the beach house kitchen," she said, her tone casual. "The appliances are so outdated. My husband can't even make a decent latte." Evelyn nodded, beaming. "You've always had such an eye for detail, Olivia." Then Olivia turned to me, her smile sharp. "So, Maya, what are you and the kids doing this summer?" "Something low-key, I bet. Must be nice not having a real job, right?" The table went silent. Even Noah looked up from his plate. I didn't argue. I didn't snap back. I took a bite, helped Lily with her napkin, and let the moment pass. But inside, something hardened. I was done being the tired one, the invisible one. That night, after tucking the kids in, I sat on the couch, folding laundry, replaying Olivia's words. Real job. I thought of the late-night showings, the deals closed while Noah napped in the back seat, the years of scraping by to give my kids a home. I wasn't just tired. I was furious. Not at Olivia, not even at Evelyn, but at myself for letting their version of me take root. Lily's question echoed again: "Does Grandma like Olivia's kids better?" I couldn't keep patching that wound. It was time to stop pretending a lake was an ocean. It was time to build something real, something no one could take away. That night, Lily's question burned in my chest: does Grandma like Olivia's kids better? I couldn't keep patching that wound with promises of next year. I was done waiting for a seat at their beach house table. It was time to build our own, a place where Lily and Noah would never feel left out. I opened my laptop, the glow of the screen cutting through the dark. My fingers typed coastal properties near Sandy Haven. I didn't know what I was looking for, just that I was done begging for space that was never offered. The listing caught my eye almost by accident. A faded motel in Sandy Haven, 10 minutes from Mom's precious Crystal Cove. The photos showed peeling paint, cracked pavement, a sign reading Sandy Shores Inn that looked older than me. The price was steep, but the location was perfect, close enough to share the same sunsets, far enough to never need their invitation. I saved the page and opened a blank spreadsheet. By day, I juggled real estate showings, school pickups, and bedtime stories. By night, I became a dreamer with a calculator. I built tabs for renovation costs, booking projections, licensing fees. I watched YouTube tutorials on boutique hospitality, studied zoning laws, and sketched layouts in the margins of my planner. I hadn't let myself dream like this in years. The work wasn't glamorous. I stayed up past midnight, coffee gone cold, running numbers that didn't always add up. Doubt crept in, especially when a potential investor scoffed at my pitch. "You're a single mom with no experience," he said, leaning back in his chair. "This is too big for you." I held his gaze, my voice steady. "I'm not dreaming, sir. I'm building." His rejection stung, but it lit a fire. I thought of Lily's drawing from years ago, the one where we weren't invited to the beach. I pulled it from a drawer, her crayon waves and smiling bucket staring back. I couldn't quit. Not for her, not for Noah, not for me. I kept my plans quiet, no coworkers, no friends, not even the kids. But Lily noticed the late nights, the extra coffee mugs. "Mom, are you okay?" she asked one morning, her brow furrowed. I smiled, brushing her hair. "I'm working on something special, kiddo. You'll see." A month later, I had a full proposal, renovation timelines, funding plans, even a sketch of a 2-bedroom suite with built-in shelves for books and board games. I labeled it Family Nest and highlighted Lily and Noah's names in yellow. Seeing their names there felt like a promise carved in stone. I reached out to a trusted contractor, a former client who believed in second chances. His estimate was daunting but doable. I called a lender I'd worked with for years, laying out my vision with a confidence I didn't always feel. Piece by piece, I threaded the dream together. There were nights I stared at risk projections, my stomach in knots. What if I failed? What if I poured everything into this and it crumbled? But then I'd hear Lily's voice: "We don't take up much space." That ache was louder than any fear. We visited the property on a chilly Saturday. I told Lily and Noah we were seeing something special but didn't explain. The lot was a mess, cracked asphalt, curling siding, a musty smell Noah called Grandma's attic. But when I pushed open the deck doors, the ocean stretched before us, waves crashing in a rhythm that felt like freedom. Lily's breath caught. "We get to come here?" she asked, eyes wide. I nodded. "Not just come here. We get to make it ours." Noah ran through the halls, claiming a room for superhero murals. Lily wanted fairy lights and a reading nook. They debated pool features, slide or waterfall, then agreed an ice cream bar was a must. I scribbled every idea in my planner, their voices fueling me. Back home, I refined the plan. The motel would become Haven Shore, a place for families like ours, the ones told no room. The family nest would be its heart, a suite designed for connection, not exclusion. I stayed up sketching layouts, imagining bunk beds and ocean views. One night, I found a new drawing from Lily on the kitchen table, a house by the sea labeled Mom's Place. Her crayon waves were bolder now, and we were in the picture, me, Lily, Noah, smiling under a bright sun. That drawing went on the fridge, right next to my laptop. By spring, the proposal was ready. No one clapped. No one called me brave. But I looked at those pages, Lily and Noah's names at the center, and felt something shift. This wasn't just a business. It was proof we belonged. Haven Shore was rising, and with it, a new chapter, one where we'd never hear no room again. Haven Shore stood ready, its fresh paint gleaming under the sandy Haven sun. It wasn't just a building, it was a promise, a place where no one would hear no room. I wanted Lily and Noah to know they belonged, but I also wanted to reach others who'd felt pushed aside. So, I sent invitations, not to Mom or Olivia, but to the cousins, aunts, and uncles who'd been left out of the Crystal Cove beach house for years. I mailed cream-colored cards with watercolor waves, each one hand-addressed. Join us for a family weekend at Haven Shore, they read, a place for connection and new traditions. All expenses covered. Just bring your stories. I sent one to my Uncle Henry, who'd stopped coming to family trips after feeling like an outsider. Another went to my cousin Mia, who once said the beach house vibe was too exclusive. Over 24 envelopes went out, each one a chance to rewrite our family's story. I didn't invite Evelyn or Olivia. It wasn't about revenge. It was about clarity. Lily noticed while sorting RSVPs at the kitchen table. No Grandma or Aunt Olivia, she asked, her voice curious. I folded an envelope slowly. Not this time, sweetheart. This is for people who haven't had a turn. She traced a name on the guest list. Is Cousin Mia coming? I smiled. She said yes. Noah, stacking RSVP cards into a tower, piped up. Can we show them the secret tide pool path? I laughed. We'll show them everything. The replies flooded my inbox, yes filled with joy, surprise, gratitude. My cousin Mia wrote, I can't believe you did this. Thank you for thinking of us. I taped her note by the fridge, next to Noah's drawing of Haven Shore with a big family-only sign. When guests arrived, the air buzzed with long overdue hugs. Cousins rediscovered each other, picking up old jokes like no time had passed. The restaurant hummed with stories, laughter bouncing off walls Lily helped choose. Noah led tours, pointing out the dolphin-watching deck and the snack bar he'd named. They called him Little Manager, and he beamed like it was a crown. Lily, quieter but bolder now, took her cousin Sophie by the hand. Mom made the family nest for us, she said, her voice steady. Not just me and Noah, all of us. I watched from the hallway, my heart swelling. She'd once shied away from rooms full of belonging. Now, she was opening the door. That night, we lit a bonfire on the beach. Uncle Henry strummed his guitar, and Lily surprised everyone with a folk song, her voice soft but clear, weaving through the crackle of flames. Guests leaned in, some wiping tears, as marshmallows roasted and stories flowed. Henry pulled me aside later. I stopped coming to family trips because I felt like a guest, not family, he said. This place? It's what family should be. Thank you, Maya. I nodded, too moved to speak. Then came the call. Olivia's name lit up my phone, her voice sharp. Maya, is it true? You're throwing some big resort event and inviting everyone but Mom and me? Are you serious? I stayed calm, letting her words hang. You're tearing the family apart, she snapped. I took a breath, my voice even. The family's been apart for years, Olivia. You just didn't notice. For a decade, you and Mom filled the beach house and told me there was no room for my kids. Now I built something of my own, and you're upset about inclusion? She faltered, her anger cracking. It wasn't personal, she said. It was exactly personal, I replied. I'm not punishing you. I'm prioritizing us. Silence stretched, her breathing shallow. I hope your kids have a great summer, I added. Ours will be. I hung up, the kitchen lights soft around me, Lily and Noah's laughter drifting from upstairs. Haven Shore wasn't just a win for us. It was a new beginning for everyone who'd felt left out. As the weekend unfolded, I saw a family rediscovering itself. And when I caught sight of a familiar silver car pulling into the lot, I knew the next chapter was coming. I knew it was Mom the moment her silver car pulled into Haven Shore's lot, too polished for the sandy roads. Evelyn stepped out, clutching her purse, not angry but lost. "Maya," she said, her voice thin, I didn't know where to enter. I met her gaze, steady. "It's marked." I led her through the lobby, past the family nest, along the boardwalk to the beach. She took in the fresh paint, the framed drawings by Lily and Noah, the key hooks labeled with care. She barely spoke, just looked, her steps slow. At the boardwalk's end, she faced me. "You really built all this?" I nodded. "It took enough." She pulled her sweater tight. "I didn't realize how serious you were." My reply was simple. "You never asked." She hesitated, then spoke. "Celeste is upset. She thinks you're dividing the family." I held her eyes. "I'm not dividing anything, Mom. I'm creating something for my kids, for me." She looked at the waves, quiet. "Can I bring my grandkids next week?" "Just an afternoon?" I considered it. "For the kids, yes. But not as a guest of honor." "Not this time." She nodded, her gaze softening, and for the first time I saw a flicker of regret. "I was wrong to favor Celeste," she admitted, voice low. "I'll do better." I didn't respond, but the weight between us shifted, not gone but lighter. As she drove away, a new email pinged. Celeste wrote that their beach house booking fell through. Her kids wanted to see Haven Shore. Could I spare a room, even for a few nights? I read it twice, then typed, "Hi Celeste, we're fully booked, including the family nest. Enjoy your summer." No anger, just truth. I printed the reply and tucked it behind the front desk sign, the one Lily designed, "For everyone told no room, this place is yours." Life at Haven Shore settled into a rhythm. Evelyn started visiting during her beach trips, bringing cookies or sitting quietly on the porch, never offering advice. For the first time, she entered my space without trying to rearrange it. Celeste's oldest, Emma, emailed, asking to work here next summer. "I want to earn my own money," she wrote. I said yes. She folded towels, stocked snacks, and hugged me before leaving. "This place feels different," she said. "In a good way." One morning, I found a note in the guest book, "This is what family should always be." No name, just a doodle of a wave. I left it there, a quiet testament. Days became brighter. I sipped coffee on the deck, watching Noah chase sand crabs while Lily read, her feet buried in warm dunes. The family nest stayed booked, buzzing with laughter. We called it the strong room, not for its size, but for what it held, everything they said we didn't have. Standing on that deck, the sun warming my face, I felt it, peace. Not the kind that erases scars, but the kind that grows from them. Lily and Noah were laughing, their voices carrying over the waves. Haven Shore wasn't just a place. It was proof we'd made it, proof we were enough. And as the horizon stretched wide, I knew we weren't just surviving anymore. We were thriving. Standing on Haven Shore's deck, watching Lily and Noah chase waves, I found a peace I'd never known. It wasn't just the ocean or the laughter. It was knowing we'd built something no one could take away. Life isn't always fair. Sometimes, the people closest to you make you feel invisible. But you don't have to wait for their invitation to belong. You can build your own table, your own place, where you and those you love are enough. Here's what I've learned. First, believe in your own strength. The world may call you just something, just a mom, just a dreamer, but you are enough to move mountains. I built Haven Shore from late nights and stubborn hope, proving I was more than their labels. Second, set boundaries, even with family. Saying no to those who overlook you isn't selfish, it's survival. It's how you protect your worth. Third, stay open to forgiveness. Some, like my mom, may change. Welcome them, but never at the cost of yourself. Your haven shore is out there, waiting for you to build it. Maybe it's a business, a home, or a new way of seeing yourself. Don't wait for permission. Start now. And when you do, share your story below. How have you made space for yourself? Tell me about your table, your waves, your proof that you're enough. Because you are. And the world needs your light.